Wits University's Dr. Jonah Chouanier is one of only 2 paleontologists to be awarded an NRFP rating, of course from the National Research Foundation, and he's joining us on the line to talk to us about his very exciting work in paleontology. Jonah, thank you so much for joining us. Now start us off by explaining what exactly is an NRFP rating.
Well, the P rating, the rating system from NRF is designed to evaluate researchers who work in South Africa. And the rating is given to you by your peers. So you send in an application and a bunch of your fellow scientists say, we think you're good in this part of science, we think you're doing a good job with outreach or with publishing papers or something. And then NRF collates those reviews. And then they look over it and they assign you a letter rating based on how good of a job they think you're doing. And so a P rating is the rating, it's the best rating available for a scientist who's under 35.
Well, congratulations. How do you feel having had this bestowed on you?
It's wonderful. It's not a system that I'm familiar with. I came from the US and I did my PhD there. So I didn't really know what to expect here. But I think it's very nice to be recognized, and it also comes with a little bit of research money for the next few years that'll hopefully push me forward as a researcher, and I'll be able to get a lot of good field work done here in South Africa. It also carries a fairly high burden of expectation, so I hope I can live up to the government and to Wits' investment in me as a scientist.
You are obviously from the US and there's tons of paleontology to be done there, but what made you choose South Africa?
Well, I think South Africa really, it's almost a hidden gem. No one knows how great the dinosaur deposits are here. We really, in South Africa, we have a very good record of some of the earliest dinosaurs ever to evolve on Earth. And that's why I was so keenly interested. But I should say that when I first came to South Africa, it was to look at stuff around the town of Kirkwood down in the Eastern Cape. And I came in 2008 to look at a very special dinosaur with a Xhosa name. It's Nwebosaurus, and my pronunciation's terrible on that. And that's where I first heard about South African paleontology. So it was sort of a long road to we did some research on that animal with researchers based at the Albany Museum. And then I heard more and more about South African paleontology. And when I got back to the States after my second trip here, I told my wife, I said, you know, if I ever get a chance to move to South Africa, would you like to come? And she said, yeah, all right, we'll give it a shot.
Can you give us an idea of what you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, we have a number of projects. I'm lucky I have 3 very good students right now. And what we've been doing is we've been excavating dinosaurs from the area around Barkly East and Lady Grey, so a little bit south of Lesotho, of the Lesotho border. And one of the most interesting things we've found is probably the largest dinosaur ever discovered in the Clarence Formation. And so the Clarence Formation are these sandstones that, if you've ever been to Golden Gate Highlands National Park, you've probably seen these beautiful sandstones that are sort of iconic. And there's some dinosaurs in them, although they're few and far between. And this one that we've recently found, the foot's about 50 centimeters long alone. So it's a huge animal. All these dinosaurs are what we call sauropodomorph dinosaurs. They're plant eaters. They have long necks. And eventually, much later in the history of the Earth, they evolve huge body sizes. So they get into the 80-ton range. The ones that we're finding here in South Africa are more like the 1 to 5 ton range, but that's still pretty big.
Now, of course, this wonderful rating from the National Research Foundation does come with some responsibility, or quite a lot of responsibility on your part. Is there any research that you're hoping to conduct in the future, or any projects that you'd like to pursue?
Well, boy, where do I begin? There's a number of things that I'm hoping to do with some of this research money, and one of the big things is I'd like to expand my fieldwork program. And I've been working with some scientists, really collaborating with people based here at UCT and at Stellenbosch, and also some researchers based internationally in places like England, at Oxford University and Birmingham University and the Natural History Museum in London. And what we'd like to do is to look for dinosaurs in a much broader area in South Africa. And so we know there's some dinosaurs on the edge of Kruger National Park, and that's a real dream of mine, is to get in there and sort of look for Kruger's other big game. And there's also some dinosaurs far up north, close to the Zim border. And I think that in the next few years, that's the areas I'm going to tackle. I'll expand from the margin of Lesotho and head sort of northwards.
Now, the truth is that very few South Africans actually realize the incredible paleontology that we have, the departments that we have in the country, and the amazing fossils that we have. So if somebody watching this video is really interested to find out more, are there resources available for us?
Well, there's a number of resources that are available. One of the best places in the country is the Iziko South African Museum, which has a wonderful exhibit. It actually has 2 exhibits on the fossil heritage of South Africa. Now, if you're near Bloemfontein, you can go to the National Museum, and that's got one of the nicest dinosaur exhibitions sort of in the Free State. There's also an exhibition we have here at Wits University called the Kitching Fossil Gallery. And although that's temporarily been moved to make way for a traveling exhibit, it'll be back up and running early next year. One of the exciting things, and I hope I can talk about this here, is the Golden Gate National Park at the Golden Gate Highlands National Park is where we found some eggs and embryos of some of the earliest dinosaurs. And in Golden Gate, we'll soon be putting in a museum to celebrate those eggs and to celebrate what we've learned about dinosaur evolution from that very spot. And so I think that's one to watch this space, and in about 3 to 4 years, we'll probably have something wonderful there.
Well, as if there wasn't enough reason to be proud of South Africa, you've just given us a whole lot more. Congratulations on your rating, and we hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, and I hope to be reporting back with all kinds of new dinosaur discoveries in the next few years.